Hi everyone, it's Miriam from Twinkle. This is the first lesson when learning about the present perfect tense. Today we're going to learn when to use the present perfect form of the verb. So let's get started. For our starter activity, there is a paragraph on screen. You will need to underline the verbs in this paragraph. Remember, our verbs are our action words. Pause the video now to complete this activity. Have you finished? Well done. Now, I want you to sort those verbs that you've underlined into present ideas and past ideas. With your colouring pencils, highlight the words that are past tense verbs with an orange pencil and highlight the present with your green pencil. Pause the video now to complete this activity. The answers are on screen. Notice the past ideas are in the orange box and the present ideas are in the green box. We have separated them into past tense verbs and the present perfect tense verbs. Looking at my timeline, you can really try and understand our past tense verbs from our present perfect tense verbs. That past tense verbs have began and ended in the past, and present perfect tense verbs began in the past but are continuing to happen now. On screen, there are a number of sentences. You need to decide which is the correct way of saying the sentence. Some are in past tense and some are in present perfect tense. You need to figure out which is the most grammatically correct way of saying it. I'll do the first one with you to help you understand what you're being asked. I went to the zoo yesterday, or I have been to the zoo yesterday. We need to decide which is the most grammatically correct. Should we use the past tense verb or the present perfect tense? Now, we went to the zoo yesterday, so this activity has already happened and has ended in the past. Know that the activity has happened because we have yesterday, and went is the past tense of to go. So the correct answer is I went to the zoo yesterday. Pause the video now to complete the activity. The answers are on screen. If you got all the answers correct, well done. If you didn't get every single answer correct, don't worry. We're still learning how to identify the present perfect tense. The more we practice, the better we'll get. So, why not look over your mistakes to see where you went wrong? Let's look at the second question, just to break it down. When you have eaten your dinner, you can go and play. You've started your dinner, but you haven't finished, and you know in the future you will go and play. I think this sentence is in the present perfect tense. Let's look at the second one. When you have ate your tea, you can go and play. This sentence seems very muddled up. Ate means we've already had it, but then it's telling us that in the future we can go and play. It's a bit confusing, so that's why it's incorrect. Let's look at our next activity. Still need to find out which is the correct sentence. Let's look at the first one together to help each other out. Okay. Mum has grown her hair very long. It's now down to her waist. Or, my mum grew her hair very long. It's now down to her waist. My mum has grown her hair very long. It is now down to her waist. Is the correct sentence, as her hair is still growing. That means it's in the present perfect tense. I want you now to try figure out the correct answer for the other two questions. Remember, some of the sentences will be the present perfect tense or past tense. You need to figure out which is the correct way of saying it. I've left the timeline on the screen to help you understand. Pause the video now to complete the task. The answers are on screen. How did you do? Second sentence is in the present perfect tense, as The plane had arrived, but the doors hadn't opened yet, meaning this activity hadn't finished. It had started in the past, but was still happening. And then our final answer was in the past tense, as the party had already happened and everyone had already stayed over. Let's look at the present perfect tense in a little bit more detail. The present perfect tense uses the auxiliary to have in front of the main verb. It uses have in front of the main verb for I, you, we and they, and it uses has in front of the main verb for he, she and it. To help us remember, I've made up a little song. Use have for I, you, we, they. Use have for I, you, we, they. Use have for I, you, we, they. Can you sing it with me? Let's go. Use have for I, you, we, they. 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 The other rhyme is use has for he, she, it. Use has for he, she, it. Use has for he, she, it. Now it's your turn. Sing along with me. Use has for he, she, it. Use has for he, she, it. Use has for he, she, it. This is going to help us with our next activity. You need to fill in the blanks for these sentences. You will need to use either have or has. Using our rhymes and the examples on screen, we can just figure out whether to use has or have. Remember, have is for I, you, we, they, and has is for he, she, it. Pause the screen now to complete the task. The answers are on screen. How did you do? Did you read through your sentences to see who they were about before you placed has or have? Well done if you did. If you didn't, don't worry. Go back and look over your answers. Where did you go wrong? Why not use your colouring pencil to correct your mistakes? Now we're diving a bit deeper into the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense uses the past participle of the main verb after the auxiliary to have. To simplify what the past participle verb is, it just means that that action has already been done. These verbs usually end in ed, but some are irregular, so they won't. So we really need to listen to the verb and to see whether the activity has already happened. Let's look at the first sentence together. My hair has really grew or grown recently, hasn't it? My hair has really grown recently, hasn't it? We have has in our sentence, which is our auxiliary have, and it is has as we were describing our hair, which is it, and grown is our past participle of to grow. So the correct answer is grown. Pause the video now to complete the activity. How did you do? Well done. If you made any mistakes, remember, read over your answers, check where you went wrong, use your colouring pencil to fix your mistakes. And finally, our plenary. This interview happened after a football match. The reporter is speaking in the past tense. In the speech bubble is what he has said. You will need to change it to the present perfect tense. Remember, we will need to use the auxiliary have in front of our past participle verb. If you are unsure, replay the parts of the video where I explain this. Pause the video now to complete the activity. Good luck! Well done everyone! You've worked so hard today when learning about the present perfect tense. Remember, this is just the first part when learning about the present perfect tense. There's a second lesson to teach you how to use it in sentences. Yes, you'll be writing your very own sentences in the present perfect tense. So, you don't want to miss that. See you next time. Bye for now.